Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, global population. Sam Fisher here. Over the past decade, but particularly in the past roughly 5 or 6 years, there's been some significant finds in Europe that have literally rocked the archaeological field and the human evolutionists around the world. And these are skeletons, but not Neanderthal like you'd expect or anything like that. Some of them were a new species called Denisovans that were very, very similar to us, extremely similar, but larger, should we say. But they also found modern Caucasians, people like us, the Europeans. Now, modern humans weren't meant to have been in this area before 45,000 years ago. And yet some of these skeletons are between 400,000 and 600,000 years old. Let's get into it. This is going to be the first of multiple parts of this episode of Epic Wars and Maybe Alien Tech, because this is going to take some explaining, because I've mentioned a couple of times now, I believe I found Hypoboria. I know where it was. Or at least a possible location. It's not only old enough, but there remains a significant structures there, believe me. And it's not where people think. I think it's starting to become apparent now, the more I look. I briefly mentioned this in my Ireland episode. Well, my episode about Ireland and the UK. I didn't really touch on it too much. But I think two versions of humankind sprang up at once, maybe three, possibly three. One in the north, the far north, one in the far south. Now, many people are going to turn around and say what I'm going to say in a minute is racist. And that's because you don't understand what I'm talking about. We are distinctly, black and white people are distinctly different from each other in a great many ways. Yes, we have the same blood, same organs, but our ability and our paths, shall we say, are completely different. We're both extremely advanced sort of models of an even older model. And we both used advanced technology back in ancient times. Very advanced technology, but advanced in very different ways. This is key. Europeans, white Europeans, have always been known for their technical know-how. I've always found some way of making a tool to do stuff that would make certain tasks easier. Whereas black people are a bit more intuitive, shall we say. They have more of a connection to the earth, to the energetics of the earth, to the songs of the earth. And they utilise that in their way. We therefore create a synergetic balance, yeah? Sort of yin and yang. Now, both sides started off in the north, in both poles of the earth, and then moved closer and closer together. And other races sprang from them. But as far as what we would call modern humans, as in us, both black and white versions, are exponentially older than we've actually thought. And these new discoveries across Europe are proving this. Now, they've not just been found in one area of Europe either. They've been found in Greece, in Spain, in Britain, and Siberia, and the Kola Peninsula of Russia. And they essentially push our understanding of, well, they basically just turn the archaeological world on its head, because this doesn't happen. This didn't happen, as far as they're concerned. This didn't exist. There were no people here, like modern humans. There were no Caucasians. Is that right? Yes, there were Denisovans. Yes, there were. Yeah. Separate thing entirely. There was Neanderthals. Yes, there were. Again, separate thing entirely. There was different hominid species. That's for sure. We know that for certain. However, we coexisted with them at the same time. They were a bit like the uncontacted tribes in the Amazon or in the Congo or somewhere like that. Yeah. They coexisted with us at a time, and it's becoming more and more apparent now, especially with these new discoveries. At a time when we were extremely advanced, far more advanced than we are today. let's go through them, shall we? In an area of Spain, Basque region of Spain, there was essentially a cave graveyard that was found. Subterranean cave graveyard of countless skeletons. Now, to date these skeletons, the Spanish archaeologists used a stalactite. A stalactite that had grown round one of the bodies. It was a stalagmite. Stalagmite, sorry. Stalactites come from the ceiling. Well, stalagmite, right? That was grown from a stalactite, obviously. And this had grown around a human skeleton. And they know because of the rate at which it degrades and dissolves and then drops to the ground, and it grows from the ceiling, roughly how long it would take. And they dated it 600,000 years. As I said, kind of starts throwing a spanner in the works of when humans actually turned up. Not only that, in Greece, on a Greek beach, on the southern coast, this was in 2022, I think. Maybe 2022. There was a skull cap. A modern human skull cap. A modern human skull cap that was Caucasian. It was found in a layer of rock that was 200,000 years old. Oh dear. Both in Siberia and in the UK, there have been jawbones, partial skulls, arm bones, leg bones. Not complete skeletons, but enough. Again, modern humans, again, Caucasian, roughly around 400,000 years old. These are alongside Neanderthal skeletons, Denisovan skeletons. We'll get to them in a minute because they're really weird. But all of these, according to mainstream science, shouldn't exist. So why do they? Well, I know mainstream archaeologists won't say it. So I say for them, they were wrong. Now, since the first sort of indications of this came out in 2017 with the discovery of that cave in Spain, archaeologists have been trying to sort of brush the knowledge of that under the carpet. They say, no, I don't believe that it is. You've obviously got the dates wrong. They then try and debunk the claims of these Spanish scientists, failing miserably, but it still becomes a mainstream consensus. Funny how that happens, isn't it? Even though they're wrong, it still becomes a mainstream consensus that no, it was wrong, and they're done because I've been at this job longer than you and I have more credentials. It's basically what it is. What it really is I've written loads of books on this and this makes me look a twat and I'm not going to sell any books anymore. That's what it is. Anyway. So yeah, all these mainstream scientists, well, mainstream archaeologists are running around like headless chickens trying to disprove that these skeletons are real, or in fact the date that they say, because it goes against everything that they were taught and everything that they're teaching. And as soon as you've managed to poo-poo that one, another one turns up. Another one, and another one. It's like playing whack-a-mole, I suppose, for them. essentially, the knowledge about our history is going to come out. All the eyes are going to be shown, right? And there's a lot of them. Our history is going to have to be rewritten. And whether those mainstream archaeologists like it or not, they're going to be kicking and screaming. Because more and more evidence is showing up all the time. Now, the mainstream guys will have to admit eventually that, yes, alright, European humans are a lot older than we said. They'll have to come to that conclusion eventually. What they're going to really have trouble with is the fact of how advanced we were. Because not only are these skeletons being found, but particularly with the Denisovans, they're finding artifacts, exquisite artifacts that they can neither explain nor recreate with the supposed tools of the time. Does that sound familiar? Isn't that what they're doing with the pyramid? Yeah, it's exactly the same. Bracelets. Huge things. They think they're bracelets anyway. Huge bracelets. Made out of a particular green stone that I can't remember the name of. I'll put it across the bottom as soon as I do. With drilled holes in it so they could put some string through it or something. Yeah. This can't be done using a deer antler needle or drill, or trying to use stone, which then means that metallurgy started a lot sooner than they actually say as well. This is another thing. If you have metallurgy, which is something that they found in the Black Sea as well, incidentally, steel tools made, well, found alongside not only flint ones but deer horn and all sorts of other stuff that are roughly 10,000 years old. They shouldn't exist, well, according to mainstream archaeology. So they poo-poo them, as they always do. They like poo-pooing. Makes you think that calling them arseholes might be the right idea. Anyway, getting sidetracked. So yeah, found some very strange artifacts with these Denisovans that, quite frankly, have no business being there. Now this subset, shall we say, offshoot of modern humans is very strange, and again is problematic for our mainstream archaeological friends. You'll notice how, even though they kind of talk about them, they never actually talk about them. Never actually describe them. And that's because, one, they still haven't found a complete Denisovan skeleton. You've pretty much found bits. That's about it. But that these obviously human bits that they found are huge. Huge. When I say huge, I mean coming from people that are at the least 11 feet, 10, 11 feet tall. You know what I mean? Some of those skeletons that they found in Spain, which is another bone of contention for the archaeological community, mainstream archaeological community, is the fact that they've been found in that cave in Spain. Which means we were co-mingling for a very long time. We didn't evolve from one into the other. We were very, very distinctly separate species. Some of which have died out. Now, we also have very, very biased ideas about what these other species of humans were like. We try and model them off us and make them like monkey men, because that's the way the evolutionists want it. But that's not how it's working. When you look at an anatomical Neanderthal skeleton, you begin to notice several things. One is that the bones are 10 times thicker than ours. And two, infinitely stronger. Where modern humans we see today are built for speed and agility, with slightly different sort of brain chemistry and adaptability. Neanderthals were built most definitely for power, sheer bulk. Yes, they were like us, but they were also completely different to us entirely. And there's a high probability that they in fact hunted us, very close to extinction. Yes, there's hybrid versions of Neanderthal and modern human sort of babies, but they could have been captured, raped. Same with the Denisovans. And like I said, we're very tall. But these things, the Neanderthals would have literally torn them apart. Think of a gorilla on two legs. Yeah? That bulk, the amount of strength that they wield, that's a Neanderthal. A proper Neanderthal. And we were coexisting with them at the same time. Now, because of these discoveries anyway, of these ancient Caucasians, yeah, or Caucasian humans, these other discoveries that have been found, dotted about all over the place, that they're just completely, just don't fit anywhere according to mainstream archaeology, begin to, quite easily. All the Doggarland legends, all the legends of the Northmen that I was talking about last time, all the pyramidal structures, all the all the underground sort of the underground complexes, most of which would have been above ground up until probably around 10,000, 15,000 years ago. They've had a lot of time to be covered over. All of those are very easily explainable then. We built them. It also starts to make even more sense for how the Eratans fooled the Ubaid into thinking that they were gods. The Eratans were the Anunnaki. I've said this plenty of times. There's a guy that I speak to on TikTok, and me and him, we're so keyed in on a lot of points. We really are. We agree on so much. The only point that we don't agree on is this one. He believes that they're aliens. I believe that they're ancient humans. And what we're seeing now with all the is basically a repeat of what happened last time. And we're trying to arrange a sort of podcast to do together. To talk things out, because number one, like I said, there's just stuff we can agree on, and we can backwards and forwards all over the place, which will not only bolster our own ideas, but it'll sort of refresh our knowledge. But we'll also teach each other a few things. Certain elements that I don't see in his stuff, and this is a lot to do with the esoteric side of things and the symbology side of things, which I don't really see at all. Pretty much. That's fine. He's going for a more scientific approach, and that's perfectly fine. In fact, it's necessary more than anything else. But it's the symbology side of things that also bolsters my side of the argument. I go for more the more mythological sort of route, folktale route, because a lot of them, they have a very solid basis, in fact, and we keep seeing this countless times over and over and over and over and over again. Darkness follows these people, it really does. The paranormal follows them deeply as well. And you see the same mythologies and the same descriptions of the same character figures all across Europe, down into the Middle East, North Africa, in fact, globally, pretty much. Which brings me to another thing that I discovered the other day. And it's from a channel that I've featured before called Fortress of Lug, depending on which way you want to say it. And it was going on about the Caucasians and how they've been tracked from past the Caucasus Mountains, which is why we're called Caucasians, and filtering out into the Slavic regions and across Europe and everything else. This is the same path, pretty much what I covered, but in reverse. As I'm coming from Syria around and then up, and yeah, they did that, but that was when they were repopulating. After they'd been down to the Black Sea, as soon as that filled up, they started filtering back up and down and out. And you get loads of mythologies about this happening all over the place. Anyway, it turns out, like I said, I didn't know this at all until the other day. The same Caucasian mythology, or the mythological roots I could see, yeah. And there's Viracocha, which is blonde. He's a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy that turns up and teaches them civilization. But the ancient Maya, right? This is a distinction a lot of people don't understand. There is Mayan Empire, what they call the Mayan Empire, but they never called themselves the Maya. The Maya actually came from an island in the middle of Lake Titicaca. I can't bloody say it. Titicaca. Oh, word. It is. Oh, give me like that. But yeah. These were light-skinned, blonde-haired people, yeah? Again, not racist, it's just fact. Same as the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki are described as blonde-haired, blue-eyed, or green-eyed, depending. The gods that gave the early Afghans the civilization were blonde-haired, blue-eyed. The Scythian gods are blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Norse gods, blonde-haired, blue-eyed. Can you see a running theme here? This is another reason why I think there were people. Why I think the Eratans were the Anunnaki, Sumerian myth. I mean, the connections are just vast, and they're coming thick and fast. I'm finding stuff all over the place. But this, travelling over to Peru, and the line of their exodus that he took, really gave me a slap in the face. Like, you got it right. Because all these myths, all these legends that I've been constantly saying on this channel are far older and about far older circumstances in our past that have been repeated over and over and over again. Like the cyclical sort of destruction and then rebuilding of the earth. Yeah, this has happened countless times, and it's through a rhythm, a sort of celestial rhythm. It's driven by comets. These cometary impacts, or when we're going through a cometary tail and it sets off wildfires, huge wildfires, which is another thing we'll touch on in the next episode. All of these kept leading me to one place, and then the Northman legends, when I started, well, I thought that they would have been either from Iceland or the early Viking sort of area, because these were the sea peoples that completely collapsed the Bronze Age era. But even the Icelandics and the Norse have legends of the Northmen. Like I said, it means that they came from somewhere else. So then I started looking at Russia. And then by chance, I mentioned this last time, Thumper showed me something that blew my mind. What you're seeing here is no joke. It's not the Bosnian pyramids. It's not a pyramid anywhere in in South America or in Indonesia or anywhere like that. That's in the Kola Peninsula. How cool is that? I'm going to get to that next episode. Anyway, like, share, subscribe. You know the drill. I'll see you later.